In the end, it took less than 30 years for the world as we know it to fall. 95% of the population died. There were a litany of causes, not that it mattered in the end. Our infrastructure failed, and with no electricity, our communications, lights, and internet failed too. There weren't even enough survivors left to tend the fields and care for the remaining livestock. As if any of us had any of the necessary skills. Those few of us who remained barricaded ourselves into makeshift fortresses, although we had no idea what we thought we were hiding from. To paraphrase that ass T.S. Eliot, not with a bang, but with a whimper, the world ended. Almost. In the late 2050s, the builders ended the crisis by combining biology, precision mechanics, and thermohydraulics to make constructs from the dead, human and otherwise. These automatons took up all the necessary repetitive tasks that keep us alive. The constructs follow algorithms and programmable, mindless cycles. The dead of all species have taken the place of slaves, and like those slaves, they have become the basis on which our recovery and our economy grow. They are everywhere. As humans, we have lost almost everything. But we do have what humanity has always had. We have hope. Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wonderful people have agreed to join me this evening to play a game, and that makes me very, very happy. So, let's meet the happy people who make me happy. Let's start with the regulars. Let's start with Bison the underscore Stonefist. I caught myself up on a joke there right in the middle of it. What are you doing when you're not here?
Not a whole hell of a lot, to be perfectly honest.
Well, what do you do when you are here then?
when I am here, on Wednesdays, I play Linus Longshadow, Halfling Rune Knight Fighter. I can finally say the subclass. That's on a Deeper Delve, which is a Lost Mine of Phandelver adventure. It's a lot of fun. The other thing that I'm currently doing is I am working on a Cyberpunk Red campaign. The finishing touches are almost finished and or touched. And that sounded way better in my head. But yeah, I'll be doing that here with a lot of regulars on the channel. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that, so keep looking forward to that in the future. It'll be my first campaign.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So next, let's move along to another of our regulars, playing Delilah Stillwater Forest this evening. Wayward Knight, where can we find you? What are you doing?
Hi, I'm Wayward Knight. You can find me at Wayward Knight or Wayward Knighted on most things. I am a Detroit-based actor and artist. I sell my art on the internet. That's my link. I had it ready today.
Yay.
I need to update my shop, but please support small artists, as well as I am helping work on a super secret Monday project. I don't know if you have seen it sort of teased on other streams on this channel, but
Heavily.
probably. But
Deadlands.
Yeah,
that'll be coming up soon.
Yeah. Oh no, a document was leaked. Oh no. What's the worst that could happen? Which brings us around the table. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not. I shouldn't even have done that, but that's okay. Let's go. Let's finish this up. not new to the channel, but I think you've only actually been live with us once or twice, I think, for one-shots, something like that.
3 times, I'd say.
But we played together for years. Please welcome back to the channel, this time in a more full-time position.
Yes.
Playing Koas Damacy this time. Phil, tell us about yourself. Where else are you doing stuff?
I have 0 online presence. Well, I mean, not 0. You could find me if you look hard enough. Please don't. But other than that, no, I kind of off the Dirty 20 grid, if you will.
Yeah, but you're doing stuff. I know you're playing other games. Tell us about those.
Yeah, I've got. I'm rejoining back the Monday DM group.
Nice. Yep.
Tuesday, I run my own game for Robin's in that.
Yep.
Wednesday, I'm playing Kevin's home game, and Robin's also in that.
Yep.
And then I'm doing
sense
this
of
one. So
theme.
I've got my 4 D&D nights. So that's 3 D&D and now 1
And then one
Necrobiotic.
not D&D.
Exactly.
All right.
One distinctly not.
Distinctly not.
Distinctly
And
not.
you know what? This game started before that shit started, so let's play this game. Speaking of this game. Oh, first of all, we used Hero Forge for our character art, Roll20 for our virtual tabletop. The art is mostly from the manual. The rest of it is from Pixabay and the oh yes, assisted by our art director, Thunderscape 7, in some cases. So now we can start. Let's go back into a festering den. Usually that sentence ends of iniquity and is a polite way of saying brothel, but in this case it ends in of broken electronics and dreams, and it's not nearly so sexy. This place is borderline death trap. The piles around you are about to come down in crashing heaps. There's so much stuff in this giant room that it's compressed like geology. You have just been made a, strange to say the least, job offer. And the three of you, Artemis kind of just goes blank in thoughtfulness at the moment. What do the other two of you do? Delilah, let's start with you. How do you respond?
So Delilah is sort of in awe at these, like, intricate, teeny tiny workings of this automaton, and she hasn't quite, like, clicked about the point that he's trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
But she wants to know more about this technology because she could implement it. So she looks at Verite
Mm-hmm.
and she says, so if we help you, we get
All the stuff that works. All the stuff that works that you bring back. But first you got to go and find the new places, the places nobody's been in. They're really dangerous, so you can't go into them. But you have to take these. And he puts these 3 little boxes on the table. They're sort of like cubes almost. Maybe having to convert 5 centimeters, sort of 2 inches on a side. And they open up like a weird little jewelry box. And he says, don't open. You can see they're sealed with wax. There's like where they open is sealed all the way around. Don't open them till you get to each of the places that you find. But if you find them, just open it up. There's 3 strips in there. Just open them up and count 100 heartbeats if you're standing still, and then close it and bring it back. And I can tell from that what's in there and whether it's worth going in or not. And then I got ways to get you into almost anywhere, I think. So it's 2 trips basically, but when you come back at the end, you can keep everything that works. All the stuff that you find that works, it'll be 2 new places nobody's ever been. I get all the broken stuff, you get the stuff that works.
Is the stuff that works similar to this? And she points to the automaton.
No, that's mine, so it's better because it's mine. What's there is all old. It's still better than the way they're doing it. And he kind of looks out, like at the door, like he means everything outside of his door. Maybe he doesn't go outside. It's better than the way they do it, but it's not this good. And he looks down, and as if somehow you see him reach under the table and light a little brazier or something. And a couple seconds later, and it just comes up to here and then stops. And it's like it's looking at you with its little ball-bearing head.
Sid, once it starts moving again, Sid's just like shaking his head in disbelief. Like every time, he's just absolutely fascinated.
I could make you one each. I could make you one that looks like you. And he kind of looks at the three of you that are there, because Artemis is there too, and then kind of blushes. Yeah, I could do that.
Maybe we should hold off for now. But
I got lots of time. By the time you get back, I can have those to whatever you, so whatever works, and a you.
Sid just sort of smiles. Well, he doesn't smile. It looks like he's trying to hide it, and he's able to because of the mustache. But
Yeah.
He's on board for sure.
If we bring back what you want, you'll give me one of those?
One that looks like you? Or one that looks like him? Or one that looks like her? Or one that looks like me? Or one that looks like that? And he points at the one hanging on the edge of the table.
Okay. I'll do it.
Artemis is, I think it's fair to say there's maybe just a hint, just a touch. Jealousy is not even the right word. Envy, I think, at the level of artistry of this build. Like I said, you guys saw the inside of it. This is micro pneumatics. This is, you do this. Yeah, you do this for a living, right? You build stuff for a living. This is like smaller than fingers that you do. It's specialist work, and he's amazing at it. So
yeah, and I'm going to
steal it,
get my
market
hands
it.
on one
Yeah.
of them.
I know. I got
Might
you.
try to minimize the danger aspect.
I saw the little gold bars spinning in your eyes. I saw where you're going.
Capitalism.
And Artemis, just kind of nods.
She doesn't do it for money. She has no concept of need.
Yeah, there
That's
really
true.
isn't here, and that's an important thing about Florence. The minimum is provided, so nobody goes hungry, nobody goes thirsty, everybody has a place to stay. That's just for being alive. But because of that, all income is luxury income. It's all just to be spent on frivolity and foolishness for the most part. Or projects or whatever you want to do. It's like all and it really is, all the people that are left are like the aristocracy because they got bugger all to do because all the menial tasks are being done. The difference is the aristocracy probably should have felt some guilt, and you don't need to because they're basically robots.
Yeah. In my headcanon, the Citadel basically funds her life so that
Yes.
she can focus on
Yep.
the science.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, bam.
And
Oh, it's not going to show. No.
There
You
Like,
guys can
move
see.
on.
Once I do show to players. Oh no, it is on all your journals. If you have a look at the it's called the Citadel of Science, aka the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore. The handout in there, that's the actual building in Florence today that has been taken over in this game 30 or 40 years from now.
So like that, but with more steam and pipes and stuff.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And weird explosions in the night.
So as the
Steampocalypse.
Uh,
Steampunkalypse.
yeah, steampunkalypse, I like that. So you said you were basically you're taking the little containers and leaving then, the test
Yeah.
kits. Okay, who's taking the containers? One each. There's 3 of you.
I will
Makes-
take one.
Okay.
Yeah. Sid will grab one as well. He's
Yeah, Artemis grabs one. And the 3 of you step outside, and a runner comes up, an actual human. It's a kid. Comes up and says, Artemis, Artemis, Dad wants you. Dad wants you. Artemis goes, what does he need this time? Did his lamp go out again? And she just kind of absent-mindedly hands the cube over towards the 2 of you. Who takes it?
Sid will.
She said, "Boom." She said, and she just looks at you and just shakes her head and heads off with this kid. Her patron has called. It's time to go to work. With that, the 2 of you are left standing at the feet of David, just across the street from you. You've just come out of this back alley, this dank back alley, from this even danker basement, this even danker human. The 2 of you have never met until an hour ago. Have a moment. This is the streets of Florence. There's practically nobody here. What do you want to say anything to each other? There's just this kind of awkward pause, like the end of the date.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, there's like a quick pause. Sid realizes that, he does not know this person.
Yeah.
And so he kind of shifts his weight, puts the other box under his arm, extends his left hand and says, Sid Brimlock, engineer, boilers.
Very well, he's an engineer, so she wouldn't be terribly suspect.
You're not wearing your apron, though, right? It's not visible?
No, but the forge hammer is.
The forge hammer is, and nobody would be bold enough to lie about that. But yeah, it is notable. I will say, Delilah would certainly notice he does not have his apron on. It's not even the covered up, like you're.
Yeah.
Like I said, even a scarf, if any portion of it is covered, it's invisible socially.
He is in his.
He hasn't even
civvies.
done that. He is full blown civvies. Yeah.
So she's gonna look at him very warily and be like, "Where is your apron?"
He pauses for a second, shifts the boxes over to the other arm, and pats the messenger bag he's got around his shoulder. And it's like, I wear this thing 14 hours a day, 6 days of the week. If I ain't got to wear it, I ain't gonna wear it. It stinks, it's heavy, and I like the breeze.
Noted.
That just screams he's part of the UFC, right? The Underwear Free Club.
He's a Londoner. He's not Scottish. It's not an issue there.
She extends her hand and she says, Delilah, it's Stillwater. Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
And it would be unbelievably rude to mention that she is wearing an apron and didn't tell you her title.
Yeah.
Because she's
Delilah
not wearing.
just kind of assumes that he would know.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of made a comment last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like he recognized, but he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
All the male viewers understand the dude nod.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he did, was a dude nod and just sort of, keeping it under wraps.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, were you doing this tonight, or should we wait till tomorrow?
It's rather late. I would prefer a good night's sleep.
Fair enough, Mum. And he gives another sort of, respectful nod. Meet here tomorrow around lunch, I say.
Suppose
He sort
so.
of- Yeah, he kind of points towards the legs of David when he meet here tomorrow.
That's right, legs. I named it, and I keep calling it the feet of David. It's the legs of David. Yes.
Suppose so.
Till tomorrow, then.
And whoosh off into the gathering, gloomy, pale yellow, construct-filled darknesses, back to your abodes. Meanwhile, Coas, you've been doing a thing. You've been searching stuff. Tell us what you've been doing. What have you been... Tell us a little bit about Coas and where he is when he finally kind of surfaces for air.
When we cut to Coas, you can see a kind of almost a office space, at least an office that he's in. But however, it's very hard to see that it's an office with the kind of on the large kind of mahogany desk that he has a pile of numerous different folders and kind of just scattered papers, and seems like there's, with the amount of cobwebs on them, they're hardly touched. But these are all cases that he has backlogged, and that he has he's on a thin line right now, where he gets what he has to get done as an investigator, as in he pumps out cases he needs to stay afloat and keep his title. However, he is more driven and focused on some more personal investigations. And so you can find him right now. He's kind of going through an older newspaper. They have newspapers.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Broadsheet, actually. In fact, we're going to get to it the next time the sun comes up. So, yeah.
See, as he's going through and kind of correlating, along with his kind of journal that he has, correlating some notes that he's taken, along with some of the kind of information that's been printed out in in one of the older newspapers. And you see he's kind of, okay, I think that's wrong.
And then
Okay.
one of the lower ranking officers, militia officers, comes in with another pile of cases and just kind of looks for a place to put them, and there really isn't
just
one.
Put it on the chair over there. Oh wait, here. And he gets up and
yeah.
he's kind of scooches another pile of
Yeah.
just paper, and kind of scooches it over, makes just enough space for that.
And they
room for two
thump
of them
the
on the
pile
floor.
down next to it, and as they
That's
take
up.
their hands away, this top envelope slides off, and it's different because it's an envelope. It's not just another manila folder or whatever the equivalent is. This one's on nice paper. It's got a large C on the front. Other than that, there's no address. But as a militia member, basically a cop, you're used to, no return address mail. What you do notice, though, is that the wax seal has been broken. It's been opened.
Did you? You didn't happen to open this, did you?
Came like that.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Who's that officer?
He instinctively reaches for a letter opener, but he stops himself. It's already broken. Pulls out the letter.
As you pick it up, actually off the floor, you immediately, I'm going to ask you, give you this before you decide whether you want to open it. As soon as you pick it up, it's too heavy for a letter. There's something inside it, and as you move it, that something starts to roll on the bottom. It's like a coin. Now, to be clear, there's no coins here. It's copper and gold in any form, but no coins really. So it's an odd thing to be in an envelope coming to you.
You shake it again. Does it seem like there's multiple objects in there, or is it just one?
There's a letter and a coin.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
So he kind of first pulls out the coin first, inspects it. Anything remarkable about it?
to say the least. As you open it up and reach in to take this coin out, it's not solid. It's got like a ring around the outside, and then inside that there's a 5-pointed star. And on the end of each one of those points, there's a little circle, like a safety point on each of the 5 points of this star. And around the edge, it says, Verite, a name and a way of life. You know those, you've ever been to the fair and they have the stamp machines? Where you
Yeah.
be like Sheriff Phil? Yeah, that's what this is. It's one of those. It's a tin thing from one of those machines stamped with this message. And then the letter in the envelope, I'll give you the short version, it's basically, I need your help to make the world a better place. Please come this evening at sundown, which was, you look out the window 3 hours ago.
Shit. And does it say anything else? Anything interesting?
Nope. It also
Or
doesn't
just-
mention any other. Oh, pardon me. The first line is your skill set and the skill sets of others working together can do this. So you've been told that you'll have teammates.
Thanks for a second. That's another thing to add to the list of things to do.
But he's like somehow secretly addicted to that.
Yeah.
It's too interesting to pass
He
up.
really thrives and just he's got too much to do.
Yep. And yeah, you kick back, and it's. I mean, I could see it in my head. It's the only like white piece of paper on the table. Everything else is work. Everything else is cases. You look down, there's scribbles in front of you. It doesn't make any sense anymore. This is annoying.
Yeah, maybe I should get some fresh air. Those can wait. They've been waiting for long enough. They can wait another day.
As you, so you head out. You grab
Yeah.
the letter and head out,
He's gonna grab his kind of coat and
and you head
Yeah.
out the door. A couple minutes later, a head kind of pops into your office and looks around. A young face, and seeing that you're not there, they go in. They sit down at your desk and they start very carefully pulling cases out from the bottom of the pile. And sitting back in your chair and starting to read them, and they're making notes on their own paper. And about an hour later, you're gone for long enough for them to do this. They take their notes, put them in the file, shove the file inside their jacket, and head out of your office. But you don't know that, because you've gone to see Verite. He's by the legs of David in a yellow house. You know this place inside out and backwards. There's only one yellow house by the legs of David, and calling it a yellow house is doing it a service, because it's actually really old, stained, and unwashed, and it's kind of gone yellow. It used to be cream colored. Yeah. And it told you around the back, down the stairs, knock and come in, because I don't go outside.
all right. I'm just gonna do a once over the building.
Yep.
See if there's any other kind of exits or entrances.
Make your first play. You're going to get to redraw a card anyway, but give me basically a search or perception sort of check.
6, 7. So 7 cards I pull from my deck.
Yep, because you get
Right.
7 instead of 6. Yep.
All right.
Right?
I get 7 instead of 6. No,
Do you?
no, I
no.
get 6.
Okay, no. Sorry. Standard hand is 6. Then put one back.
7 and 6. Thank you.
There you go. Sorry, I thought there is a sort of an ability that allows you to have 7, but never mind. You don't have that. So
All right.
those
So,
6
yeah.
cards. This is, if you look at your character sheet, this is going to be I believe that's clubs, is it? I think so. Your steam,
Clubs
your
is
mental skills.
perception,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you have perception as a skill?
I do have
Okay,
perception.
so
as
you
a
can play
skill,
2
yes.
cards instead of 1. Any 2 cards that add up to a total of 8 or more count as 1 success. Any card that is a club counts as 1 success. The more successes you get right now, the more information you'll get.
I will do a 7 of clubs.
Okay.
And so that's 1 success.
Yeah.
And an ace of
Okay, so
spades.
2 successes.
2 successes.
Perfect. You see a couple of things in this alleyway. It's dark and dim and grungy, but some people have been down here. They made no attempt to hide their footsteps, whereas most people in back alleys, for nefarious deeds, that's what they would do. So these people, like, there's 2 sets of footsteps, clear as day, went thud, 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 down the stairs, and then later, or 3 steps, and then thud, 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 came back up the stairs, came here, had a little conversation, more or less, right in front of where you're standing, and then went their separate ways. I'll give you all of that.
And then
Also,
one,
yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead. What did I miss?
I was gonna say he distinctly recognizes his sister's footprint.
Actually, you probably do. Or there's a small pile of sparkle where she was standing, because they're artistic. There's a bit of paint stuck where somewhere.
There's always glitter somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, and there is still a lamplight on in that basement room behind the door. You can see the light creeping out underneath the bottom of the door.
Okay then. All right. And so he's gonna go ahead and, while muttering himself, he's gonna go down the stairs and knock the specified amount of times.
Yep.
Let's say 3.
Yeah, it just said knock and walk in.
Knock and walk in.
Yeah.
So he's gonna knock,
Yeah.
take a second, and then walk in.
Yeah, absolutely. You are confronted with that room I was describing at the start. It's just drifts of broken electronics, mostly green circuit boards with little bits of metal attached to them, but there's old plastic casings and shells and who knows whatnot. It's crushed in on itself. It's impacted. It looks like a mountain range. And there's this very narrow little, I mean, it's like that. You have to walk with your hands on your sides, on the sides, and your feet in a row to walk into this tunnel ahead of you. This room is probably 7 meters square, and you can't see 3 in any direction.
As he's kind of squeezing his way through. I
Yep.
thought my place was cluttered.
And you wiggle and wiggle and wiggle and wiggle and wiggle, and you come out the other end finally into this dimly lit little room. There's just a lamp sitting in the corner. The stove is on now, which is kind of creepy because this is a wood stove. It looks for all the world like it's melted a bubble into all of this plastic crap that's just way too close to this very hot stove. You can smell hot plastic just on the brink of bursting into flames. He's got his little lamp sitting there with an open flame in this fire hazard of a room. But speaking of him, little tiny table, because this room that you've entered is all of about that much across. The 3 of them and him filled the space around this table. So you've got a little bit of room, but still, this space is tiny. It's a very small round table, and on it is a smoking apparatus. There's just it's got all kinds of little wires and things hanging off of it, and there's one wire across the middle that's popped, and you can smell hot brass. But that's quickly looked up from, because sitting on the chair across it, perched up on the stool, like Andy Serkis doing the Gollum Schmegel speech, just perched up there, is the person who must be Verite. And he looks at you and says, "Oh, number 4 is finally here. We can start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4's finally here. We can start. Hello, 4. You're late."
Hi. Yeah, I know. Got caught up with work, you know.
"Oh, you shouldn't work. It gets in the way." What, you got the letter?
Yes. I did get the letter. It was opened.
I don't know anything about that.
So someone might know of what's going on here.
You could ask too. I think they're your sister. And they're pawing around on the table through bits of paper, trying to find something.
What's her name?
Capital A. The letter in your pocket's got a capital C on it.
Did it start with art?
I think it did. Yes.
Then
You
yes,
should know.
Artemis
You're
was
her
here.
brother.
Yeah,
Oh, I found it.
no,
I found it.
alright.
And he pulls out a piece of paper and just interrupts you as you're talking. He's, "My name is Verite. I am easily distracted and I don't like people, so I wrote this and will read it to you once you get here. I think that Florence can be better than it is. I think that I can make the things that will make it better. I need help. I stay here, so I need someone. You
gestures at them to search for 1, 2, find 3, recover from 4, return items from the scrap. In return, I will fix these items and you can use them to not die on more missions. When you find good stuff, I will fix it and use it and to fix the world. What do you think?
Well, that sounds okay, but well, how does this involve my sister?
Oh, she really liked this. And he takes the broken piece of wire out of this contraption and he brings a new one. Looks just like it, but it's full length, and he plugs it into both ends. And he says, come spin the crank, come spin the crank. And you see that there's a crank on the end of the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you
Spins it.
and there's like repetitive resistance. You're basically, it's a generator, right? You're rotating 2 magnets inside an electric field and generating electricity, but of course electricity's gone in this world, so this is basically what you feel is as it goes around. And it doesn't get harder. It's not like you're winding something up. It's just over and over and over again. And you see that little bit of wire start to glow. And then it comes up to full incandescence. And this room is just full of light. Just blindingly white light. This one is lasting a lot longer than the one that these guys saw did. Until finally, poof, and it's gone. And you're back in that now it's all but black in here because there's just that lamp. But it seems nowhere near as bright as it was.
That is interesting.
Bright lights, no place to hide. Have to be good. Can't do crime. One on every street. I can make them last longer, but I need stuff.
Okay.
Everything
So
that
you
works
need
you can
stuff to
keep.
make these.
Everything that works you can keep. And you get one of these, and he reaches down and for like 15 or 20 seconds, like, what the hell? Because you can't see behind his table. And he's just staring down at something and staring down at something. And then you see on the edge of the table, because you're a militia, I'll give you already, you notice when the first claw comes up, and the second one comes on the side of the table, you notice that where they land, there's hundreds of little divots in the table. Like, this is not the first time this happened. And then you see the whole little robot, it does its walk up on the table. This time it gets a little further. It gets almost to you and starts to bow and gets about halfway through the bow and then stops because it's run out of steam. And then very, very slowly falls forward onto its face. You get one of those that looks like you, too. That was the deal.
Sure. Okay. But you said that my sister was interested in this, but you never explained why you chose her in the first place like you did me.
You're for finding stuff. She's for building stuff.
And the other two?
They're for fine detail work and for hitting stuff with a big hammer.
And you think stuff is going to be needed to be hit?
Well, that's how you forge stuff. You hit it with a big hammer.
Oh, nah, sorry. My mind went elsewhere.
Forge hammer.
Yeah.
Works at the Citadel.
Okay.
Boilers. So you said yes, so we're done.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. The rest of them, do you know where they are?
Not here.
I can find them.
Did you guys mention when you were coming back to him before you left?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Yep.
We said meet back here tomorrow.
Okay.
But
He can go find, Artemis can, we can figure this out. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I didn't give information that he wouldn't have had. So yeah.
Do you have anything in writing?
Why would you want it in writing? It doesn't make it any more real.
No, just so it's detailed.
What do you want it to say?
Just the general scope. The kind of like the thing you explained to me just now.
Okay. And he turns around and just pulls out of this massive shit. He pulls this thing. It looks like an old typewriter, and it kind of is, but there's a big attachment on the back and another one of these cranks. As he pulls it out, I mean, there is an avalanche. just outside the city, there's an area called the Scrap, which is all the electronic garbage from most of Italy, honestly. It's not just from Florence. It's a massive area. That's where they've asked you to go look for these exposed areas. Well, he didn't ask you. He didn't tell you anything because you said yes right away, and so you don't have any details. But yes, that huge area is just outside the city. So there's plenty of stuff. But when things, because it's unstable out there, every once in a while there's what they call tech launches. It's like an avalanche, but it's tech. You see a small one of those in this room, and it threatens to overwhelm this space. In fact, at one point, he kind of has to push it back with his back to keep it from filling the room.
And I'll come up and kind of adjust it because I know how stacks of stuff
Yeah.
needs to be.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
He's
I'll
kind
come
of
adjust
like
it.
somebody understands the fine art, and the two of you get it stable. Well, that
The
was
two
close.
hoarders. Two hoarders bonding.
And he
Aw.
sits down at this typewriter and rolls a sheet of paper in, just like an old typewriter. Like it's the one you have to push across, an old manual typewriter, right? And he starts typing a whole bunch, but nothing happens. But he types and types and types and types and types. And then he spins it around and starts cranking the handle on the back, and only then does it start going tunk 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 tunk, and starts to type out the message, letter for letter, what he said earlier.
Complete with the gestures too.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, kind of, because when he writes because he just retypes the letter, right? And they're on the letter. It says gesture at them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
why
he said
because
that
he
out
keeps
loud,
reading his
yeah.
own rule. Yeah, he's reading his own stage notes. So yeah.
All right, that's perfect. So I guess there's a meetup time.
Nope. Maybe number 2 knows. Nobody told me. But I don't go anywhere, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll try to find
Your
a kitty
ghost,
cat.
your ghost
Yeah,
door
it's
behind you is
like a
opening,
ghost
just in
cat,
case.
yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure it's a cat and not somebody who was not aware they were about to walk into a stream. So, yeah.
Oh, little girl. Sorry,
Cat
guys.
packs.
Cat difficulties.
No, not worries. So yes, he doesn't seem to be bothered by this at all.
Yeah. I'll show up tomorrow. I'll bring my sister with me. And
Why is number 2 sisters with number 4? Shouldn't number 3 and number 4 be together? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand.
you're the one that's
Technically,
numbering us.
That's
So.
just nice.
I mean, you can always change the numbers.
You can't change numbers.
Yeah, you can. Watch this.
No,
I'm 5 now.
no, you're not. You're 4. Pretending to
5.
be 5, it's different.
No. I'm 5.
If you're 5, you're not invited. Told you you're 4.
I'm 4. Okay. Well, nice meeting you.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye. Yeah.
And by the time you start to work your way back through there, he's already doing something. He's got another. Actually, he started cutting tiny little pieces of tubing. He's started to make the automatons that you also agreed to take one of without really knowing what they do. Technical difficulties, yeah, kind of. So yeah, you head out. You head back to your office or home?
Actually, I'm gonna attempt to follow the trail of Sparkle.
Okay. There's only 2 places that you don't even have to like. This is just cop think, right? There's only
Shoot.
2 places they'd ever be, which is at their house or at work, which is their patron. They are an artist who is paid to take tech and make it into really cool art. You can kind of imagine how impressive what you just saw would have been to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They're used to going, look, I took it like Salvador Dali, right? Look, I took a bike seat, made it look like a bull. This guy's going, no, it's a bike. Look, you can ride it. And yes. Yeah.
So he's gonna
Yeah.
attempt to find his sister.
Okay, so you quickly check at her place, no lights, not there. So you head over towards where the patron lives, and as you get there, this as you get to the gate, there's you hear a voice from inside in the darkness going, "Hey!" It's just a kid's voice,
Just a random kid's voice. None
but
to
they're
our benefit?
inside the compound.
Inside the compound.
Patron is this patron's got like this is a really nice house. They're not a builder. They're not like that level of important politically, but this is a really nice place. And they have apparently staff, although this appears to be a child, like human staff. That would be really strange considering this world of constructs, right? But yeah, you hear from inside. Hey,
Oh yeah.
You're just
He
gonna-
just leaves it like that.
yeah, you're just gonna stand there. You're a cop, right?
Yeah. I'm waiting for. Well, can I come in?
Who are you waiting for?
Artemis Damasi.
Oh yeah, she's inside. Kind of looks up at the house. Yeah, the light's going on upstairs. Mom's gonna kick her out pretty soon and make Dad go to bed.
Okay. Sure. And he's gonna step in. Yeah, he's gonna step in, and as I step in, what is the kid? Where's this voice coming from?
You look once you step into the shadows and kind of let your eyes adjust a bit. There's this kid. He's the same one earlier that the other two would recognize that came and got Artemis. He's well, I was gonna say he's just a kid, except kids or anybody young is special here, right? This kid has been born since the fall. He never knew before. The fall was only like 40 years ago. So there are people with living memories of working internet and all the goodness that goes with that.
Back in my day.
Yeah, but this kid's like 12, 13, 10 or 12, and he's never known that. So there's sort of there's a difference. And he's just looking up at you, absolutely fearless. Which makes sense. I mean, like I said, life in this world is special. You
Period.
wouldn't beat somebody up unless you have to. You certainly wouldn't take a chance on killing them, right?
Having fun tonight, kid?
I'd like to stay out of the house as much as I can.
Do you frequent anywhere?
I used to frequent everywhere, but then stealing shit got boring.
You know, word of advice, you shouldn't mention that you steal. Usually the thing about stealing is you do it secretly.
Well, we only take from empty places.
Oh, then it's not really stealing.
That's what I said.
Yeah, it's if no one's been there or no one's currently occupying it, then they just kind of leave it up. And I mean, to me, it's fair game. Some of my colleagues, they piss on me for that, but I think it's fair game.
They're assholes. What's it like being militia? Is it fun?
It's a lot of work. A lot of work. And you know,
Why do you
I'm
do it?
kinda, It's a gateway. It lets me do the stuff I'm interested in.
What are you interested
Kinda-
in?
Solving things.
Like
Searching.
what?
Well, there's this one particular case that really piqued my interest the other time. It was about this automaton that just went missing. Just poof, vanished out of thin air. Not a trace, nothing. And it turns out that someone came by, someone had ordered it to dismantle itself. It was rad. It was so cool figuring that out and finding the clues to help solve that. It's kind of like a big jigsaw puzzle. if you will.
Okay. How do I be a militia?
A lot of forms to sign up with. You have to be older. Yeah. Sorry, kid. You have
Oh,
to
what,
be.
what could I do now?
Age.
You know, your sister's not the only dick in your family. And he
I
looks
get
like
that sometimes.
he realizes he's really pushing the limits there. He's alone in the front garden with a stranger that's much bigger than him. But yeah.
No, it's
Fearless.
okay, kid.
Okay,
Um,
kid.
You said you like exploring, right? You like to, you rather be outside rather than in the house, right?
I've been in pretty much every house in this neighborhood, yeah.
Well, keep searching. Try to find a lot of places. It's between me and you, kid. A lot of places have hidden stashes. They're kind of like perhaps where the fireplace is. You gotta reach in. You might find a stash there under a floorboard. Try to go looking. Try to find stashes, and this will help pique your interest. This will fuel your need to search, your want to search. See how
Okay.
many you can collect in. How about this? I'll give you a month. No. You want it harder? 2 weeks. I'll give you 2 weeks to find the most interesting thing you can find,
Okay.
and then present it to me after 2 weeks. I won't be around here, but give it to my sister, and she'll give it to me.
Well, I can find you.
Perfect. He kind of puts a hand on the kid's shoulder. See, you'll do just fine.
He
That-
just kind of rolls out from under your hand and walks out the gate into the darkness. Like he's going now.
Also, take up writing courses. There's a lot of paperwork.
He's like, yeah.
All right.
And about then, Artemis comes out. What are you doing here?
Same reason you were there, apparently.
He kind of looks back up like I was here at work.
No. Listen, you got contacted by a guy. Valorous was his name, or starts with a V. You know, like the
Verite.
the
We're
Verite,
meeting him again
that's what I'm
tomorrow
saying.
at lunch, yes.
Yes. And
Did you go see him? You're late.
yeah, I went to go see him. I know. Just
And what are your thoughts? Don't tell me you just blindly agreed to do this.
I did. But I don't know. It seems interesting. And you took it.
I said I'd be back there tomorrow at noon. And I don't know if that's going to be possible. And they look back over their shoulder. They want me back first thing in the morning.
Well, I can go in place for you. Yeah. Right.
Great. Noon tomorrow. Same little
Noon
shithole in the
tomorrow.
basement.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm going home to sleep. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. I'll make sure not to be late for this one. If
And
I
as they
remember.
walk away, you can see them, and you're reminded that they have constant migraine pain. Yeah, constant headaches as they walk off into the darkness to try and get some sleep.
I'll keep you updated. It was nice to see you.
And for the third time in as many hours, you get, yeah.
Yeah. And with that, yeah, feeling that bit of a, like you just had like a kind of an awkward interaction, and
Yep.
kind of going off like I could have done stuff a bit differently there. He kind of walks off.
I hope I did I hope I did Artemis proud there. I think that sounded about right. But anyway, we'll do with that. We'll change it if we have to. We'll retcon it if we have to. But yes. So with that, the question then I guess is back to work or home to try and get a nap or
He's gonna go back to work. He's gonna go
Mhm.
back to his office. However, as he kind of goes into the front door, and she accidentally swings it too hard and hits a pile of cases, and they kind of all go spilling out. He goes to start picking it up, and as he picks it up, he kind of stops for a second. I'll do it tomorrow. And he kind of goes to sit at his desk, and instead of reading or anything, he just kind of sits with his feet up and begins to think, and kind of just daydreams off.
Okay. How do we do this? How many... Interesting. Let's do this. How many clubs do you currently have in your hand? When you because you've had a 5-minute rest, so you can redraw up to 6. So if you fill it till you got a full time. Don't play them. Just tell me how many you've got. I'm using that as your sort of general state of awareness right now, whether you see this.
Okay. I've got... do I have to tell you what they are?
No, just how many. How many clubs.
Oh,
and a joker counts as a success.
Actually,
Always.
I pulled my king.
Okay. Well, we're
Does
not
that
actually
matter too?
playing it right now, so that doesn't matter. Yeah.
So would that count as a club, though? Because it's a
For
technically
this, yes, and then we're going to have you tell us. We're gonna play that king, because you do have to play it right away. But first, before I play, I just need to know how many you got in your hand. 4.
4 clubs.
Okay, you absolutely, definitely noticed this then. You wake up, kind of in the middle of the night, shaking your head because something moved. Somebody moved. Something moved, and your door to your office opens ever so slowly, and a very young face peeks in and looks at you.
I'm gonna, as I saw the door open, I'm gonna kind of try to go back to pretending I was
The
sleeping.
fake sleep, yeah.
Yeah, fake sleep.
And they look in, they open a little bit more, and they look at the mess on the floor. And they step forward like they're going to clean it, and then they stop. And they take a folder out of their vest and slide it in amongst all the rest of the mess. And then you see them going, they're just doing like a little rhyme to decide which one to take next, right? Because there's no order anymore. And they just stop on one and they just reach down and kind of... and then start backing out, tuck it in their vest and start backing out of the room, and they start looking at you again as they go.
As soon as their kind of perception is out of the door, I'm gonna get up and go to the door as quietly as possible.
They close the door, you hear the click, and then you hear the squeak of somebody trying to sneak away down the hall. You
So
go
as
over,
soon
and-
as
yeah,
it's-
you
yeah,
know how
like,
to
I'm
open
gonna-
that, yeah. Do you know how to do that, actually? How to open a door quietly? You actually put a slight bit of tension on it when you're going to open it and take up that slack. So when you open it, it doesn't go click. It just, and then take it open, because it's
Yeah, I
the
think
click
I
of
do
the
that
thing
sometimes.
inside the frame, right? Anyway, you know how to do this. You open it up and take a peek down the hall. Even though Florentians, because of the engineering skills that they've got, look a lot younger. Thank you. Look a lot younger than they are. This that kind of put me off for a second. There, cat
Class.
is.
Oh. Layouts worked.
Oh no! Did it move the? Oh,
I'm Sid now.
it should come back here in a minute. Oh no, you're just in the wrong spots. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I just do
Oh
that,
no, I should have just done this.
and then that.
My
I think
bad.
that fixes it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
There we go.
Oh,
Ta-da!
yep.
Fixed. All right. So, this is whether you noticed or not. Yes, you saw the kid. As they're sneaking away from you, you give you a couple of things because you had 4 clubs. You know that they don't work here. They're not militia. They're not that kid from the thing, because they started before that did. But just before you can gather any more information on that or do anything more than that, how does your king, which you just drew and now you have to play, How does that cause you to fail at this point in the story?
All right. So, my king, just as a refresher for everyone watching, is mental scars.
Yes.
And the way I have it is I get psychosis at certain times. So as Koius, I even mispronounced my own name. Koius. As Koius kind of is looking out and seeing the kid, it's gonna shake his head quickly, and the kid, who's not the kid, shifts into the kid from the garden, and he gets confused for a second, and then the kid starts walking back, kind of opens the door. Kid, what are you doing this late at night? And then as he kind of does that, and he kind of shakes his head, there's nothing there, and there's no one in the hallways.
Yeah.
And he loses track. Fuck. I've been working too much. Now I'm going to discard the king.
Yep. And with that,
Shit.
you all get a full night's rest. So draw back up to 6 cards, anybody that's played a card. And the next day, I think we'll cut all the way forward to the meeting at lunch if you guys... actually, let me do it this way. Who wants to do what before we go? I see a finger.
Yes, I would like to check out the folder that was replaced. That was like put back.
Yes. It takes you a while to find it because you know where they put it, but it's kind of like it's still a mess. The only way you can tell that it's not your handwriting is that it's still actually slightly damp. Like if you hold it up to the light, it's still got that little bit of reflectiveness to it. It was written in the last 6 or 7 hours. But it's like it's your hand. It looks like your handwriting. It looks like your grammar. It looks like your sentence structure. It looks like your work. And it's solved. It's stone cold busted. Like the information is there. The evidence is there. This is a drop it on the boss's desk. It's done case.
What? And then, so he's going to take a second. He's going to go over the notes himself and kind of come up to the same conclusion.
Yep.
Oh, shit. What? Yeah, no, the kid got it right. That's who I was going for with this, too. What the fuck? Who the hell was that kid? When else he solved my cases?
Penny and Brain just solved Inspector Tomasi's case. Yeah. I love it.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
He's going to close it up and kind of...
Here's the question. Do you walk down the hall and drop this in your boss's inbox?
kind of look back at the pile. Tempting. Very tempting. But it doesn't have the same itch to it. And you see as he kind of crumples up.
Oh.
He crumples it up and tosses it.
Okay.
At least the kind of the new notes that was made.
Yeah.
I have to solve it myself. He's gonna put it, and he's gonna kind of throw it
That
back
is
down. In
so
the pile.
bizarre because, like, I need to solve this mystery that I now know the answer to. That is so human. That is, I believe this. This is who this guy is. I love it. So, with that, because I want to get everybody back into this, and I want to get us moving along. So,
All right.
the next day, either one of the other two want to do anything before you go back?
Sid takes a short shift.
Yeah.
So he gets up, like he has like, maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Puts on his apron, takes his hammer.
Yeah.
Caresses the family portrait as he goes, as he
Yeah.
always does. Takes in a shift, and when it becomes lunchtime, he actually shows up straight from work.
Right. So, yeah, he's still... This time you've got your apron on. You smell like forge. You smell like boiler. All right. So the three of you, 2 of you have never met Coes before. There is a vague... Yeah, we decided there's at least a vague family resemblance. But yeah, the 3 of you show up never having met all three of yourselves before, at around the Legs of David at just before noon. So,
Actually, I get there just a bit later.
of course,
I get there- it's like
yeah,
noon, I
okay.
get there like 12:05.
So yeah, the two. Okay, in that case, let's play this out. The two of you get there like what, like 11:50ish, like before noon, right?
If you're not early or late.
Delilah is always early.
Yes. Yep.
If you're not early or late.
Now, early is a state of mind here because we are talking about a sundial in the middle of the square, right? So, yeah, using the legs as sort of a clock, the shadow from the legs. So the two of you
sundials of
arrive.
David.
Awkward re-meeting in the morning. How's that go?
So you do wear the uniform.
If I've got to.
High
Just go.
praise. That was sarcasm.
Yeah. Sid's very much like, even though he is like a shift foreman, because there's no way anyone other than a foreman can get away with just fucking off in the middle of the
At
shift.
lunch? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a white hard hat for sure.
Yeah, he's still very much like,
I'm sure you earned it.
yeah. He watched his old man die.
That's true, yeah.
That's how he earned it. He's still very much like, I would call him a proletariat.
Yeah.
He's very much like he's pro union.
Yeah.
Very much, the other workers would consider him one of the guys.
For sure.
So, his extremely casual. He understands that he's, kind of like Homer Simpson, a nuclear engineer would make 90 grand in the
Yeah.
90s. But,
So-
it's got this fucking idiot doing it.
So, Delilah, seeing Sid now for the first time in uniform, as it were, how does it change anything? Does it make anything different? Because he's not hiding it anymore, right?
It makes it more baffling because his responses have indicated that he's not proud to wear the apron.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't understand that.
Yep.
She's
Absolutely.
not comfortable.
Yeah.
Literally it.
Because like even when she has her apron covered, she has her apron on.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the standard procedure. It's anybody who has earned that apron wears it. Is the standard procedure. So yeah, he's a weird duck for hiding it away on the weekends. But as the two of you are standing there in that sort of uncomfortable small talk silence, anything else you wanted to say to each other before I bring in?
It's just sort of like your basic water cooler small talk.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking,
see,
yeah.
I don't see the artist here.
I think duck. Yeah. So, the two of you are sort of, the artist doesn't show up. But a couple minutes later, Coas, you walk into the clearing, and the two of you see a cop looking around. Coas, you see two people standing over by the Legs of David. They're not your sister, but 2 and 4. Maybe this is 1 and 3. You can see them. They keep glancing over towards the alley.
And from the descriptions of what each one does, can I line them up?
Yeah,
Like
you
one of
can
them
tell one of them has
hammers.
absolutely got a great big hammer, and the other one also has an apron on and no hammer, so that means that they're an engineer.
Architect.
Architect, right.
Architect.
Right. One of them, yeah,
Is
one
the
of them
engineer.
one of them
One of
builds
them's-
constructs, one of them makes the world work, yeah.
All right, so
So
he's gonna,
both Citadel educated.
he's gonna stroll on up. I'm guessing you guys are 1 and 3.
And who are you?
I'm 4.
You're late.
Go- Am I? Oh, shit. I was
So looks down at the ground at the sundial.
finishing up a case. Right. I'm Goyas. Goyas
Sid,
Dermasi, brother of Artemis, who can't make it today. She's she's a bit tied up at the moment.
She seemed rather interested last night.
Yes, but something personal has come up. She can't make it.
Is it work related?
I'm not gonna say.
Shrugs.
You guys,
Understandable.
she did
Very
mention
understandable.
a patron that she had yesterday when you guys were in conversation. So,
Yeah.
and you know that they're an artist, so it would make sense.
He's just been a bit.
Now, just before you go back in, you do what you know about the scrap, this area outside the city. It is, like I said, piles, heaps, almost blocks of tech garbage. Broken, melted, abandoned, forgotten tech that almost no one understands. It turns out that there's sort of a natural leveling effect. When you pile stuff really high, it comes down over time. So there's constant tremors. There's so much of this stuff falling. It's like little tiny landslides. And they've taken to calling them tech lanches and tech tremors. Other than that, you know there's no maps because it always changes. Not only because of this, but because people move stuff. There's a whole bunch of technosophers out there all the time digging through it, trying to find new stuff. But other than that, you don't know a lot.
Oh, sorry. Are we talking about the scrap?
Yes, that was the scrap.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll go back to the map, I guess. Dusty is. So, with that, do you head down the alley to go and see Verite?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
time.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's gonna know we're late.
No. So you guys walk down the stairs, knock on the door, and walk in.
Yeah.
Make your way through
Are
the
we
tunnel.
really
Yeah.
doing this?
My sister's interested, so I'm doing it.
If we've
He's
got,
kind of making it way.
Yeah.
Squish, you know.
Yeah.
it's like my entire life has been dedicated to make this city a better place. If he's got an idea that works, then let's do it. It's worth hearing out.
It's an interesting idea.
She remembers her motivation, then she just goes, "Fine."
Mhm. And when you finally get to this space, and again, now this is the first time for Coas that you've been in this space with 4 people, and it's like this, right? To not touch these complete strangers. There's the 3 of you, and then there's him still perched, apparently completely unmoved on the chair. Same clothes, same burned out mechanism on the table. And he waits until all 3 of you are in and looks around and goes, "Why are you here?"
She won't make it today, Artemis. I'm filling
Okay,
in for,
she wouldn't
for
fit.
2. Fair.
Why are you here?
Nice to meet you.
For what? You have the boxes.
We were supposed to go to the scrap first and come back when we were done.
When you find places that no one's been. Don't go in them, they're dangerous. I have stuff, though.
So we
Oh,
came
right.
here again for
To
nothing.
meet up.
Oh, to meet up.
It was a quick walk.
Okay,
So
next
what was
time
this,
meet
just
up
a
outside, Kay.
confirmation of who we're working with. So we came in here for nothing and then just are leaving again.
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
bye.
Right, well, and then she turns around and goes slowly.
Yeah. We decided we needed to meet up with him again. That wasn't something we actually had to do. We were just meeting up at the lakes.
Some GMs might have stopped you, but not me. So yeah, so you come back out and you want to head towards the scrap. It's noon now.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll read a little bit more about it because this is what you would know. If you look at the map up here on that page, the northwest wall of the yeah, that is northwest. The northwest wall of the city cuts through the rail beds. The tracks are long gone, but you can see the not the
bars
rails.
and
They've been taken, but you can see the ties and the gravel of what the rail yard used to be. A reminder of a rail system that failed long before it became necessary to seal the town against the harsh outer world. You can tell this because the wall is built on top of the wreckage of the train tracks. So it's built through it. They sort of knocked the hole and built the wall across. The walls here, like everywhere else, when you get close, it becomes obvious, especially when you get close here because there's no buildings. These walls are fully 5 stories tall. The tall buildings in town are 3 to 4. Some of them are 5. But this is a very tall wall when you're standing at the bottom of it. There are defensive towers here and there, but they're not occupied at the moment. You know that they're only ever used in cases of attack, which there's never been. There's not enough people to be fighting, but it's there in case they need it. But as you notice over here, right at the southwest corner of the rail yard, there's a spur of wall that sticks out a short distance. It's the only remains of a plan originally to extend the city, but they built that much of it before they realized they didn't need to. There's too much space already, so they stopped. But what this does now is acts as sort of like a dock that sticks out of the wall. So you can make your way up this wall. There's stairs that they have to climb to get to the guard towers, and then walk out along this tongue of wall. At the end of it is the first of these mountains of tech. So it's like this green, as you walk out onto this walkway, it's just like that down both sides, just full of tech both sides of you. And at the end of it, a ramp of this broken material just sort of slides down into the wreckage below. I don't know if any of you have ever seen a scree slope or know what that is. On really steep mountains, the shale breaks up into little like plate-sized pieces, and there's just, it's like that, but this is broken electronics. So you can get up on that wall, but getting down off of it is going to be a challenge. What do you do?
And that seems to be the only way into the scrap is to get up on the wall. And
It's the only publicly known way in, yes.
We don't have our.
Your technosopher, who might have an answer to that, isn't here. Yeah. Meanwhile, putting sparkles on a Barbie that's for the patron's kid. Yeah.
The patron's actually not the father. It's like the youngest daughter of the family.
Oh, I went weirder than that. It's the boy he talked to outside. But yeah, never mind. We'll figure that out as we go along. So
She doesn't know that.
So, what do the three of you do? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that none of you have a reason. Out of the three of you, none of you have had a reason to ever be in the scrap before.
No.
Artemis might have a reason, but I don't know. We'll find out when they come back if they've ever been out here before. Not that it gives you any advantage, because like I said, it changes daily.
Yeah.
So,
going through Sid's head is kind of like, this is it's all very foreign to him, but in a, once upon a time I would know what all this stuff would do. So it's like he doesn't understand it, but he's also trying to.
Yeah.
But in his own limited way.
sure thing. The other two, as you get to the top and you look out over this mostly green wasteland of plastic and steel, some of these mountains are 10 to 12 stories tall. They're twice the height of anything in Florence. This has got to be the electronic garbage of probably most of what used to be Italy. For whatever reason, all piled in this place. It's over half the size of the walled city of Florence.
Now, Goyas is going to think. And obviously, something or someone, people are obviously have to pile this up in the first place.
Yep.
And clearly, this doesn't seem like the place that people would haul. Like, this is not stable enough to haul, like, for someone hauling massive electronics.
Yeah.
So he's thinking that there's another place that we're missing here that would be a good entrance to. So I'm gonna see if, I don't know if you'll let me here, but I have a skill called Search for Traces.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
And I would like to, yeah, technically it's for like a room or it's
Yep.
like a
Absolutely. I'm gonna make
Scene.
we're gonna do so. That you make a play with that, right? with yeah, and
That's
it's
okay.
also uses up one of the 2 uses of your detective kit, right?
Yes, it would.
Okay. Actually, don't use up that use because this is just a
Okay.
look around. This isn't like a forensic check, but you are gonna have to make a play. So that's a gear play, right?
That is a gear play, yes.
So that is spades are your success group,
Spades are my success group. So I'm gonna
and
play
yeah, you have the skill, so 2 days, or 2 dice,
Nice.
2 cards.
2 cards. Okay, do I want to?
Do I see the face of 3 players all reading their player character sheets at the same time?
trying to figure out
What can I
which
do?
one
What
of-
can I do?
Which one of my, because I've got 3 gear skills.
Yeah.
Okay, makeshift armory. I don't think I can attack the mountain of tech.
Nope.
I'm going to blow up the ocean. No,
I got a question.
Yes.
Let's say I have a jack in my
Yeah.
hand. Let's say I can play that as a normal card, right? That
It
that
counts,
counts as like
It counts
whatever
as that
it counts.
suit, but on your character sheet, it tells you what it actually counts as
Yeah.
for a value. Yeah.
But that special ability that's linked to my jack,
Yeah.
that can only be played if I play this jack.
Nope. You always have those. You always have those abilities. The jack just then counts as a card.
Understood.
So yeah. Thank you for clearing
I
that up.
also have a question.
Yes.
So, with our skills or whatever, not
Yep.
the flesh steel steam
Yep.
gear, but like the ones within them.
Yep.
We can play on any of them, but if we have like a check in it, it just means we get like an extra card or something.
Precisely. You can make a check,
Okay,
and anybody
so-
can do anything that they have on their list, but you play 1 card.
Okay, so like I could play any of the gear skills, but I only have like I'm only trained in 2 of them.
Exactly. So 2 of
Okay.
them you'll be able to play 1 card, and 2 of them you'll be able to play 2 cards.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah.
for my play, I'm gonna do a I'm gonna do a 5 of spades. That's 1 success. And
Yeah.
a 3
and
of
2,
diamonds.
so that's 2 successes altogether. Okay. What you see, you're right. The piles and the heaps. I'll give you this. That was put up by heavy equipment. Now, heavy equipment exists now, but now it would be like 30 oxen attached to a plow. Them all mechanically constructed. This was done. It looks like it was done with tech that was failing. So basically, like internal combustion engines, basically like Caterpillar tractors and things. Heavy equipment, dump trucks and shit was used to pile this up. So when this pile was made, the electronics portion of the world had failed, but a lot of the mechanical stuff was still working. Yeah, this couldn't happen at the current tech levels. It would take years to pile up this much shit.
Okay. And does there seem to be any remnants of like an entranceway where these dump trucks or whatever would go in?
Think of yourself outside the. I'm going to do a very Canadian example here. Outside of the arena, the big pile of snow the Zamboni has.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like at the wall, and then there's all the snow, and then everything else, so you can't get past it. Yeah, the latest the tracks would be a mile out that way. In the last place they dumped this garbage, right? Because they started at
Got
the
it.
wall and worked their way out.
All right. Makes sense.
So that's one success. The other one I'm going to give you is this scree slope around you is incredibly unstable. It is going to be very challenging to get down. Anywhere. You don't see anywhere where it's not going to be difficult.
Okay.
In fact, dun 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 dun, we're going to switch over to the encounter page.
We have encountered an encounter.
This is the first real encounter we're going to do because it has both damage and consequences, and you're each going to have to overcome it as you get down this hill. So this is our chance to explain how this works. You've seen people make plays so far, and you're like, who cares, because I just get to redraw. We now kind of go into action mode. So from this point on, they can't redraw until they get to the bottom of the end of this scene, which in this case is pretty simple, the bottom of the scree slope. To get there, each of them is going to have to generate 2 successes just to get to the bottom without something bad happening. But they're also going to have to try and offset consequences. In this case, if you look at here, The top 2 cards, these face-up jokers, those represent how much damage you have to do, how many successes you have to get to overcome this encounter. The bottom one is how many consequences you'll face.
I'm not on that screen. I'm not too sure.
You all have map powers, so go to the map tab at the top and
Oh,
move
we all
your
have
own
map
self,
powers.
because you're
Oh.
all GMs. Yeah.
Oh,
We're
that's
in
fun.
Untitled, right?
Exactly, yes. Yep, I called it Untitled because I'm original. Yeah.
Perfect.
So, yes. So the 2 face-up cards are the 2 you have to eliminate to get to the bottom. The 2 consequence cards are, if you do not eliminate these cards with using successes, you will potentially take an injury, which is a trauma to your in this case your physical body, or a loss. You might lose something as you tumble down this hill uncontrollably. Why is that an issue? Because you only got 6 inventory slots. And if you lose something, you roll randomly and it's gone until you can replace it. So, to do everything in one turn, you would have to generate 4 successes to be able to guarantee that you got to the bottom and guarantee that you took no consequences. This is this is definitely a diamonds challenge for sure. This is a physical challenge. So diamonds are your trump. If you have, what is the skill under there that would, not acrobatics, what's it called?
Athletics.
Athletics, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have athletics, you can
Skill.
play 2 cards. If not, you can play 1.
Huh.
Delilah will be hanging back.
Yep.
Yeah, I physically can't succeed.
Well, you can get part way down, or you can spend this turn offsetting, burn one of your successes to offset one of these consequences and not proceed forward, but only once you get rid of a consequence, it's gone.
The
Right.
consequences apply to all of us, right? That
You're-
we're like co-oping. To,
In
like,
this
get rid
case,
of
each
these.
one of you has to face this on your own.
Ah,
So
shit.
each one of you has to generate 2 successes to get to the bottom. So if you had 2 successes, you got a couple options. Actually, pardon me, you have to use 1 for one of the successes. So the first one has to be to move one of these, get rid of one of these cards. So say you had 2, so you get rid of one of these. You then choose with the second one, do you want to do this, in which case you would face both of these consequences, but at least you would have succeeded, or do you want to get rid of one of the consequences and still have to overcome this?
I have a question. Can I use my engineering design skill? An
Yes.
engineer is able to study, design, and repair the most complex mechanical works, as well as understand the functioning of unknown.
Yep.
Actually, no, that wouldn't work. I was going to say try to sort of study the scree slope to
Yep.
try and figure a best way down
I-
instead
yep.
of going down at first.
I absolutely. What was that skill again? Just the name of it.
That's it's engineering design. It's a gear skill.
Yeah. So, okay. If you would like to use that skill, make your play in that, and it will make it, make your play in that instead. You'd still need the same number of successes, but you can make your play in that skill instead. And the other 2 you can do that as well. If you can come up with something other than just skidding down on your arse and trying not to get hurt, tell me what it is.
I've got a thing I want to try to.
Yeah.
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 Oh, bye, cat.
Incoming cat.
Cat,
No,
yeah.
actually, the cat's leaving. I've got a thing.
Had enough of your
Instead-
shit. I'm out. Yeah.
Instead of athletics, may I argue that I can try to surf down and
Dexterously
use
speaking?
dexterity. Yes.
Yeah, that's the
Steam.
yeah. It's kind of a weird thing because they consider dexterity to be a mental thing, and I get that. So yeah, yeah, absolutely. You can make your test using dexterity. Delilah, plans?
I need to push the limit.
Yeah, yeah, you can do that absolutely. To play an extra card, you draw 1
So-
blind from the top of your deck.
Yep, I'm discarding this one.
Okay,
It's an option.
and
You threw away something
drawing
small?
from the
Yeah.
top.
It's,
Nope. Okay, so
It's
in
in
that
reference sheet,
case,
Phil.
well, it goes on the pile automatically when you push the limit.
it goes in the discard pile.
The card you throw away does, but yeah, then the card that you draw automatically goes into your play.
Automatically goes into play.
Yes, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, you can
That's
push
not-
the limit at any point. This is what you do. You throw away one of the cards in your hand. Usually it's going to be a shit card like an
Oh.
ace or a deuce. You take the top card from your deck and add it to the play.
Okay. I was really, really hoping it was going to be a diamond, but it's not.
No.
In that case, I just wasted a really nice 4.
No, then take it back. You didn't know the rules.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the
Well,
first,
no.
this is the first
Oh, yeah,
encounter ever. Good grief.
Okay, well, in that case, I have 1 joker,
Yep, that's a success. Okay.
and Delilah tries to cautiously step down onto this slope of electronics, and I think her foot sinks in deeper than she expected,
Yep.
and it throws off her balance, and she just head over like
you
ass
head over
through
heels,
hell.
absolutely. So you got 1 success. So you come to a stop halfway down. That's how this works. You are halfway down. However, you have taken 1 trauma to your diamonds, your physical body. First trauma is free, doesn't do anything. If you
Oh,
get
right.
another one, it starts adding, it starts making your die rolls more difficult. But
Yeah,
first one's
like,
free.
I have appearance, and I was like, "How is being pretty gonna help?"
I'm glad you mentioned it. Appearance isn't pretty. Appearance is your ability to use your looks to get shit done.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
what I
can be, sort of scowly and scarred and still use appearance. Yeah.
How does being
That's not going to help you here unless you're planning on riding down in your face.
exactly?
So you get halfway down, you take 1 injury, 1 trauma, and you lose one of your items. I know we said we rolled randomly, but it's the very first time, so I'm going to let you choose which of your 6 inventory items is lost. Or is that worse? Should I just roll?
Well, if she got 2 successes, she can use 1 to get rid
Only
of
got 1
the
success, right?
I only got 1 success.
Just the
Oh, I
Joker.
thought you got 2.
Yeah, nope, just the
Okay,
Joker.
shit. My
The push the limit didn't help. It just cost a card.
I only have 2 items, and they're really good items.
Okay. Magic GM moment. It falls out of your hand, but you see where it lands. But you're still only halfway down. You don't currently have your item. It's all the way at the bottom.
Okay.
So you currently have lost that item, but you can see it. As long as you don't really mess up your next half of this.
Okay. In that case, it's gonna be my med bag because
Okay,
I'm
yep.
wearing the apron.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So you have all your medicine slides down the hill and crashes at the bottom.
Jesus. Okay.
That's you halfway down with neither one of the consequences dealt with. Who's going next? Sid. Let's do Sid because you wanted to use your thing. I'm thinking this is kind of like you build a sled, like
Yeah, that
engineering
was
that
kind
way,
of-
right?
Kind of like, there's going to be scrap and garbage everywhere.
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
after a point, people are just going to start using the scrap for garbage.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yep.
So he fashions some like 2x4s and sort of I'm not going to say skis. It's kind of
Yeah.
like a very, very shitty luge.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was more like just like a raft, right? Just something simple.
Yeah.
right? Yeah, okay.
He takes a pallet and attaches some garbage to it. To get
Absolutely.
it.
So make you
I'm
play
going
in
to
that.
play my
is
jack
Okay.
and 4 of spades.
Okay. So what does that
that's,
jack count as?
Counts as a 2 of spades. So,
So that's
it's,
6. So that's not enough.
no, but it's two,
2
spades.
successes for the.
So
Yeah.
it's 2 successes. I'm
Yeah.
going to get rid of the loss and take the injury.
Okay.
Um,
Kind of moving these around to keep track of
Yeah.
who's where.
and so what happens is he gets about halfway down to about where Delilah is, and it catches a piece of rebar and just shatters. And he goes ass over tea kettle and scrapes himself up a bit.
Yep. Come to a
very-
stop,
Actually,
sit up behind her.
no, he doesn't, because I have the Citadel leather apron on.
Oh, and
It's
it absorbs
protected.
1
Oh, wait.
damage. Yeah. It absorbs 1 damage, right?
Oh, then I
Yeah.
don't have the trauma.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. No, you absorbed that too. Yeah. So yeah,
so
the two of
Sidious-
you are kind of a short distance away from each other with large pieces of pointy things shoved against these heavy leather aprons on your chest. Halfway down. With that,
God's
Coas. Coas. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He's just like God's teeth.
Coas, what do you do? Looking down at that mess.
Okay, so
You try this. You gonna try this deck surf?
yeah, I'm gonna try to surf this down.
All right. Make your play. 2 cards. Remember, you can burn one too if you throw one out of your hand. Just don't ever leave yourself with no cards in your hand, because if you have no cards in your hand, you can't take a rest and redraw.
And
At least I didn't put
Quick redraw.
fatigue in this first one, which costs you cards if you don't offset it. But
burning a card lets me offset like one of the loss or injuries, right? Or how does burning a card work? What do you mean by burning a card? Is that the one
No,
where you
just-
you do it and you pull from your deck?
yeah, that's if you're looking down at your hand and you don't have enough successes, you can do that. So this would be clubs. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, diamonds. No, clubs.
It'd be
Your
clubs,
steam,
yes.
your mental skills, which is dexterity in this game.
I've learned, by the way, to
Yeah.
not. I have barely any like diamonds, so
Yeah.
I learned not to use those on other ones and
Yes.
to save those
Yeah.
for.
Yep. An ace is still useful as a success in that suit. It's unless you have a 7 and you need to get to an 8, that ace is not useful. So
And then there's me, who didn't have any diamonds in her hand.
yep, that's how it happens. It's okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 successes here.
Okay. First one has to do one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a 2
Yep.
clubs and a jack of clubs,
Okay.
which the jack is a 5 in my case.
5, so
that's
7, so
eight.
not quite. So yeah, 2 successes.
2 successes.
So the first
So I'm
one
gonna
offset
do-
gets you halfway down.
Halfway down.
So you're
and
all
then-
officially halfway down now.
Then the loss. I don't want to get the loss.
You don't want to take loss. Okay, so you will also take an injury. You do not have a fancy apron, so you actually bleed. You come skidding to a stop a couple meters away from them, look down, and there's like something sharp's gone up your sleeve. Kind of done the rip. Yeah.
And this is a
That's totally
bleed
what's
in which one?
One
Is this
trauma in would be your physical stat, which is diamonds. Steel.
Steel.
Yeah.
Steel.
So the first trauma.
Yeah, your physical stat is steel, not flesh.
I know. It's the
I understand why flesh
Yep.
is soft, steel is hard. I
Yep.
get it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And I only just now realized that the gears have the suits written into them.
Yes, they do. Yep.
hmm
On the
Further
character
down.
sheets.
I
Yep.
saw that. I noticed
Yeah.
that last week. I was like, dude.
So current on your tetanus shots. Yeah. In this world, yes, you all would be very current on all that stuff. So
And
Yeah.
to heal trauma, obviously you have to do like the most severe first.
Yep.
But in order to heal trauma, you need a medicine.
you have
kit,
to have the
or-
medicine skill. Yep. And you
So-
need the
or
kit
get
to
a
use
bear
the
hug.
skill. So you got to get the rest of the way down before you can get healed.
Yeah. Okay.
So
got it.
I got rid of the one thing because you've all gotten rid of it. So you are all now looking at, I believe that, right? You've all got 1 success and injury left, right?
We're all afraid of that loss. Super fucking afraid of that loss.
Yeah. Well, didn't we
I-
take the injury?
Oh no,
So
you
it
got
doesn't
rid of
work.
injury. No, you didn't take the injury, so you could have gotten rid of the loss. Yeah, so you don't. You get your you get your bag back because you
Wait,
took
what?
the injury, right? But you didn't have to because
But she
your
only had one
apron protected
success.
you.
Oh.
Oh.
But
So
I
you
only
could
had one
use-
success.
Oh,
Right,
right,
but-
because you took both the injury and the loss, so you only take
Yeah.
the loss.
Yeah,
okay,
She
yeah,
didn't,
so
yeah,
you
she
still.
didn't get the.
So pardon me, I got to fix
I
this because
didn't-
you still have these 2 left. The other 2 only have 1 left.
Yeah.
Okay. So, at this point, you're all looking down at your hands going, I have no successes left because I just played all my successes. How to get cards
act-
back?
I gotta catch my breath.
You take 5 minutes, exactly. Throw away 1 card in your hand and then draw up to a hand of 6.
Diala's gonna like look at herself and just be like, "Pardon my French, but Jesus."
So you guys just kind of crouched like climbers on Everest, waiting for a break in the weather. Just sitting there,
Sid is actually going to
catching your breath.
gauge the rest.
Yeah.
Realize he can make it. I'm gonna use a 2 of diamonds for
Okay.
athletics to
Mm-hmm.
get myself down.
Yep.
And since I eat the injury,
You get rid of loss again, and you're down. So yeah, you
well,
slide to the
well, is it? Do those come back every time?
no,
the
you had already
consequences? Yeah.
loss was already gone. So I was just gonna
Yeah.
do this. You now got
Oh,
rid
I
of
see.
injury as well.
Yeah.
So because of that, you are at the bottom. It doesn't matter that there's still one up here. It can't do anything to you now, so you skid to the
Sid
bottom.
keeps skidding. It's just now it's a little bit more controlled.
Yeah,
Skid Brimlock.
yeah.
Skid Brimlock.
Skid Brimlock, yeah. So that brings us to the last two. So Delilah, you have loss and 1 success to get to the bottom.
Yep.
What skill are you
So-
using? Thank you, by the way, for making
We'd
me ask
already-
what skill are you using, because you're saying just do this, just do that. I hate that shit. Yeah.
What I already did the loss. Is there another loss at risk?
If you don't offset it, yes.
Oh, like the loss is persistent. It's like not. It's
Until
not like a
you
one-time thing.
you make that consequence go away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, and the injury is gone because I took the injury, but it got negated by the apron.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the injury's technically still there for
I just
you,
took
it's
it off
just
the table
doesn't
because you
affect
don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh,
doesn't
okay,
affect
okay.
us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, it's still
In that
there.
case, okay, I'm discarding this ace again.
Okay.
And I get to draw up to when my hand is full, so that's 2 cards.
Yep.
1. Oh, thank fuck.
This is a very interesting system. I love it.
Now,
If
I've been
I
talking
only
about
have
resource
one
management for
success-
3 weeks. Now, do you get it? You guys haven't managed to get to the bottom of a hill.
If I only
Without running
have
out of
one
cards.
success, does
Yep.
it have to go towards getting
Yes.
to the bottom?
Yes.
Okay, in that case, 2 of diamonds
Okay.
is 1 success.
It is.
Um,
Gets rid
and
of
that's
that
all
for
I
you.
have.
And because it's the first episode, your second item slides to the bottom of the hill. No, just take the. No, you only had 1 success, so you lost and an injury. The injury gets absorbed by your apron. I'm warning too. God damn. And yes, your other item for this again, because it's first day. We'll do this. Your apron actually rips off of your neck, and by the time you skid to the bottom, it's kind of come off almost. How close is that to feeling naked for somebody that's worn that thing every single day since you were like a teenager and went to school?
He gets up and even though her coat's probably ripped to shreds
Oh, yeah.
too, but she's pulling her coat around her like, Jesus, no, God, shit.
Yep. Trying to tie
like-
the string at the back of
she's
your
like,
neck. And
she's like trying with it. She's like picking up her apron and like putting it on
Yep.
she's like, damn it, yeah, she's like trying to tie rips together and
Yeah.
and just and then she's trying to really carefully trudge through the electronics and picking up all her med shit and
Yep.
finding the bag, trying to use her suture kit to sew the hole that's now in the bag.
Yep. Absolutely. So you're grumbling and moaning and complaining and not liking your first trip out of the city at all. Who's next?
Me.
Yeah, okay.
So the loss is gone because I
Yep.
dealt with that last time.
Yep.
So now it's just another injury and
You guys both
the
got
one
rid of
card.
loss, so I can finally chuck this. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Another injury and the 1 card. I'm going to do. I'll do this.
And just so you guys know, this 2-2 format, that is standard minion. I know this is a hill that isn't fighting back, but the 2-2 is standard minion, just so you know what you're up against in future. There will also, while you think about it, there will also be times when all of you are playing against 1 set of cards. So all of your successes will count cumulatively. And I've been playing with this. Sometimes you'll always be working together for successes, but you have to counter consequences on your own. And sometimes it's the other way. And yeah, I'm
I have altered the
playing
rule
with
set.
this mechanic.
Pray I
big
do
time.
not alter it further.
Yeah. I haven't technically changed anything. I'm just applying it in a way that is not in the book, but I think is still within the.
If it's not in the book, it kind of should be. It sounds like this sounds like a skill challenge.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's
As
just
opposed
it's
to
various
fighting
ways
a
of using the
monster.
same mechanic to make it interesting, right?
Hmm.
Wait till you guys get surprised by something, then you don't know what the consequences are.
Oh,
There's just
until you
like two consequence cards and two difficulty cards, and you don't know what the consequences are.
I'm doing
Okay.
my queen of clubs
Okay.
and a 3 of spades. So that's 1 success on the queen, and then my queen is worth a 5.
5, so 2 successes. All right.
It's funny because
yeah.
my jack is a club and it's worth 5, and my
Yeah.
queen is a club and it's worth 5 too.
Yeah, they're
so
both.
it's
You
easier
got
for me to roll.
many 5s. Yes. All right. So you skid to the bottom with taking no further damage, no further injuries. You skid to the bottom in a small tech launch of stuff.
Ugh, is this a PSP? No.
Wayward, you look confused.
I am reading.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. Then. Sid, they're both down at the bottom, gathering their stuff.
After a little bit, he's like, "Is everyone all right?"
Not
Physically,
me.
yes.
Coas has got blood coming out of the wrist of his jacket.
Yeah, physically no.
Are you gonna need healing soon?
I mean, we could wait a bit if we need to, but soon enough.
Now, here's where we take a brief break to talk about healing, because as you said earlier, you have to heal the hardest one first, the hardest trauma first. So if he gets hurt again, you have to generate 2 successes to heal the first one, then 1 for the second one. If you do it now, you only have to generate 1.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
So, Delilah
But
is going
it uses
She
up
has-
doses of your med kit, right?
But she has bear hug.
I do have.
Oh,
bear
that's
hug.
right. You can just hug him better. Don't you have to have a nap, don't you? Isn't there?
Yeah, my bear hug works overnight, but
Okay.
Oh yeah.
but my medicine bag
Yeah.
is.
Coas, you look confused. If you were the little spoon all night with Delilah, you gain 1 trauma back. So.
Yay!
I was thinking more like head and lap, but okay.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Yeah.
You're Fia from Elden Ring.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We still got to get Sid to the bottom here.
Oh, you
No,
gotta
I'm
get.
good.
Or
I'm
no,
good.
Sid's at the bottom.
Are you?
Yes,
you
it's-
okay? Excellent.
Yeah.
Right. We all
I
made
got
it.
out. I made it down first.
That's right. Yes, I forgot. Okay. Injury. Let's just put it over here for now. We're going to use that one a lot. All right.
So if you're trying to heal a level 4 trauma, you need 4 successes.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, actually, and you better have them quick because a level 4 trauma will kill you within minutes unless
yeah,
you
that's right.
either get healed or get to the Citadel.
That's you gonna die.
Yeah. That's imminent doom. They can fix almost anything as long as you get to the Citadel fast enough. But yeah, you don't want to get to 4 trauma in any of those.
Yeah. Okay.
And the physical trauma we just did is the easy one. That's why I described it. Start looking at those other ones and tell me how you're going to describe the trauma that you take in your gear, your training, your mental state, your physical state, or your social state. Because you're going to have to start explaining those. This game is so much fun. But you skid to the bottom together at the bottom. You pick up your healing kit. Are you going to heal him?
I am going to go over to him and I'm like, do you need help?
I mean, after this is done, I could probably. You said we can, like, the Citadel would heal it, right?
Yep.
After this done, I can probably go back into work and get it healed up. So if you got a limited use on that, maybe we can wait for that. But I don't know what we're gonna encounter in here, so.
You'll call.
Feeling a bit selfish.
All right. All right, Mr. Militia Man.
Koas, in your head, you hear your sister's voice just going.
All right. So, he's only got one trauma, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, actually, he changes his mind
Oh.
after kind of hearing, hey, as you
After,
said to like,
after hearing Artemis in his head.
actually,
I was just like, all right.
no, I can wait till I get back to work after this.
Suit
Should be
yourself.
fine.
All right. At that
So-
moment. Yep. Go ahead, Sid.
Now what do we do? We're in the scrap. We're supposed to find something nobody's found before.
Dick?
In that pause, you all hear. And you look just instinctively, because you're at the bottom of a valley now, right? You just came down this slope. There's a slope up the other side. This valley runs along parallel to this wall stud and then just opens up into just valley after valley after valley. Who knows what's out there? But there's nowhere to look but up, because you can only see a couple 100 meters straight ahead. You look up at the hilltops around you, and on one of them, you see a shadow move, and the face looks over the edge. And then your eyes are trapped by movement, and you see coming towards you from that hilltop a small object falling out of the sky. Except it's not that small. It's getting bigger as it gets closer.
I immediately just get out.
We're
of the way.
gonna
Scramble.
actually
Oh.
decide what you're gonna do next week.
Oh.
But I want to complete the cliffhanger, because two things happen here. One is the camera swooshes up the hill to show the top of this hilltop, where there are two people. One of them is now currently looking down to see where this round is about to land. The other one is reloading a mangonel. It's one of the ones that's got the arm and then the ropes on it, and you just heave down on the rope and fling the little rock at the end of the arm. One of those rocks is flying towards you as we speak. And the two people are standing on top of the hill. So,
Those two people.
come on. No, that's not the button. That's the button.
Oh.
So, what you have,
That's more than two people.
it's the first two are the people.
Oh,
The,
okay.
the third one is the
one is
machine
the-
itself,
Oh, God.
the mangonel itself. So you have a choice what you want to attack at this ranged attack. But first, we're going to have to figure out how you recover from this, because this is how I'm going to show you how encounters work when you get surprised.
Oh no.
So, they're
had
here now. You
dexterity
can
this
see
whole
them here
time.
now. Up here. Oops, and I moved a couple of them. So
Guys, I had dexterity this whole time, and I didn't even know.
it's okay. We're learning. But the trick is, because you do not know, or because this is a surprise, all of these, which you know if you start the encounter, go away. So you don't know what 3, 3, and 2 consequences you're offsetting. And when you roll to offset them, they are determined randomly.
Oh no.
So I will know what they are, and I will remove them from the list, and other stuff will happen.
F.
So, you got a week
Capital
to think
F.
about what you're going to do. This rock is flying towards you. It's actually not a rock. It's a piece of tech. It's like an old computer case
Follow.
or something.
It's an
of-
iMac.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
First-
The
first gen
screen. Yeah,
iMac.
the big heavy ones with the screen.
Or how
Yeah.
about a clump of Nokias?
Yeah.
That-
Oh, okay. Yeah, a blob of
Every time
Nokias
they throw something,
tied
it's a
together
different piece of
with
garbage.
a bunch of non-functional HDMI cables. Because everybody's got a million of those, right? So yeah, that's what's flying towards you. Fade to black.
And us with like no cards.
No cards. At the bottom of a valley.
Good question.
Runaway is always an option. Yes.
I'm not that I'm at that point now, but once we like exhaust our 24 cards, do we
Shuffle,
just
shuffle and
reshuffle the
restart.
deck and
Yeah.
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 Okay.
The only thing you really don't want to do, one of the things that didn't come up today because I haven't put it up there yet because it's a dirty bugger as far as a consequence goes, is called fatigue. If there's 3 consequence cards and one of them is fatigue and you don't offset that fatigue card, at the end of your turn, you take 3 of the cards from your hand and throw them away. That's what fatigue does.
Is
If
it
that means you
3
run out of
cards?
cards, you take a trauma.
Seriously, fatigue does that with one go?
Every time. There's a number of consequences. So
it says,
that's why,
it says losing a number of cards equal to the threat.
yes, which is the consequences, which is in this case
is
3, 3, and 2.
3.
So yeah.
Into.
That's
So what
That's
that
fine.
means is it's not on here. I'm not going to use it a lot because it's really an OP power. But when you see that, you are absolutely, positively going to want to offset it. So you're going to, when you see that, you're going to hope that you've got 2 successes because you
I've got a
need one
question.
to act as a success and one to offset that. Yeah.
Let's say so it's equal to the threat, right?
Yep.
Let's say there's 3 consequences, right?
Yep.
And you somehow manage. No, we'll make this easy. Let's say you have 2 consequences.
Yep.
You get rid of one, and then you get rid of a consequence, but
Yep.
not the fatigue. Then
Yes.
the fatigue should only proc for
You
one.
only take 1. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you take whatever, it's the number of cards at the end of the action, number of cards that are left on the table. So yes, you can do that. You can get rid of those cards instead. But you
Yeah,
always
'cause
have to
that-
spend at least 1 on your first success, because
So
otherwise
wait,
you
I-
gain
And
nothing,
next
right?
week, Artemis shows up and goes, "Guys, stop!"
Artemis opens a small door and goes, "You guys didn't know about this?"
No, we didn't.
And step out in a small cloud of sparkles.
I'm gonna have to somehow remember my cards.
So I forgot. There's a cutaway scene tonight. Camera fades back from black. Back to Verité's lair. First, just after he finally, the next morning, when you guys are already gone, or that afternoon after you guys are gone, you see him get up and go over by the stove. Seems like a
What?
bad place to put it. It's just a whole step, over by the stove. And he picks up one of those like bug mister things. And he sprays what, if you were there, you could smell it, a green antiseptic mist around all the places where you guys stood. So in this world, in his mind, you were the filth.
Perspective.
In a world that barely understands germ theory,
Yes.
we have a
Well, I
hypochondriac.
don't know. Medicine in this world is super advanced. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But with that, the time for the thank yous is here. I love new systems, because especially the first sector, because I mean, I could see how much you were sweating and reading character sheets and trying to do math and looking at cards and we're just starting to get it now, because now you're going, I've got 3 successes here, but do I want to use them all? Right, so now the game really begins. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this a lot. Take your time. Look at your character sheets. Make plays that make sense. We're in no rush. This is a long campaign. You have literally hardly started. So with that, what a great session. Thank you very much. I'm going to do them in reverse order. Thank you, Phil, for joining us. Thank you, Wayward Knight. And thank you, Bison_Stonefist. Thank you to all the people in chat tonight. I appreciate it very much. I hope you guys are enjoying this show. I'm really looking forward to this one. The underlying message in this show is one word. It's hope. This world is a terrible thing. They've hit the bottom of the barrel. There's nowhere to go but up, and that up is going to very much depend on the work and the decisions and what this party does. So you are going to be instrumental in whether this world gets rebuilt or not, as the case may be. So with that, thank you to chat, Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everybody on YouTube. I put like 5 of them up again, 4 or 5 up again today because I'm that guy. So click the notification button on YouTube so you know when I do it. Click that like button because you watched all the way to here, so I'm going to assume you did. It's over 2 hours. And the only thing left is the important thing. Until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.